place across the country. Let me first take you through the top focus at 5. And today, this evening, the debate is about the hijab row, which is intensifying in Kerala. We're given to understand that the state's education minister has now directed the school to allow the entry of the student wearing hijab inside the school. BJP says this is just appeasement politics of the left. We'll get you representatives of both the BJP and the left as well. In deep dive, we'll talk about the woes of people in IT city of Bengaluru. Enough is enough, say the citizens of Bengaluru. They've issued an ultimatum to the Sarkar. If you don't improve the situation of the roads, we won't pay the taxes. And in Janata's take, we'll talk about the green signal that has been given by the Supreme Court to green crackers. But what do you have to say about it? We'll find out. So let's first shift our focus to the debate. Now, remember the entire controversy around the student, an 8th standard student wearing hijab, and the dispute with the parents is only escalating. We're given to now understand that the state education minister has directed the school to allow the entry to the student inside the school wearing a hijab. That has led to a massive political face-off. The Bharatiya Janata Party is hitting out at the left, saying that this is appeasement politics being practiced by the left government. Let's first listen in to what the state education minister has said.
കേരളം പോലുള്ള ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനം വളരെ സമാധാനപരമായി ഇത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ പോകുന്ന ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനമാണ്. ഒരു ജാതി സ്പർദ്ധയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മതത്തിന്റെ പേരിലുള്ള ഒരു സ്പർദ്ധയോ അത് വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിലോ പിന്നെ ആരാധനയുടെ കാര്യത്തിലോ ചികിത്സയുടെ കാര്യത്തിലോ ഒന്നും ബാധിക്കാത്ത ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനമാണ് കേരളം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതിന് ഘടകവിരുദ്ധമായിട്ടാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സമീപനം ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുന്നത്. യൂണിഫോം വേണം. അപ്പോൾ യൂണിഫോമിന്റെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ ഈ കുട്ടിയുടെ മതവിശ്വാസത്തിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ തട്ടം ഇടുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ കളറിന്റെ ആണല്ലോ പ്രശ്നം വരുന്നത്, കുട്ടികൾ തമ്മിൽ വേർതിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ആ കാര്യം നിങ്ങൾ നിശ്ചയിച്ച് ആ കുട്ടിക്ക് കൊടുക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി തയ്യാറാവണം.
Well, you heard the minister. The minister says he would not allow the schools to become a flashpoint over the rights of the students to freedom of religion and expression. On the other hand, we also spoke to the school authority to find out what really is happening. Now, the school says, representatives of the school say that the minister, the politician, is only trying to politicize the entire issue, and the parents do not have an issue. They've agreed to follow the school's rule. Why is the minister saying so?
Yes, at about 9:15 we have received a mail communication to the school management stating that it is a notice kind of an order which states that they have received an information and report that the school management had sent the student out of the school. The CCTV visuals of the school clearly proves a fact that the student was here on 7th, 8th and 10th.
Yesterday onwards, we can hear from the channels that already they sent the notice to the school mail, but still we did not receive. Actually we are getting this mail at 9:15 this morning. So whatever things it is written on that, this everything is illegal. It's not right.
So parents and school authorities are planning to hold a meet?
Sure. We are going to meet the parents. Anyway, there will be a positive reply. Sure.
So the school says that the minister is only intervening and asking why is it that when the parents agree, the minister is trying to intervene in this matter. This intervention of the minister or the intervention of the government is being highlighted by the BJP as well to hit out at left, saying this is nothing but appeasement politics. Listen to the reaction coming in from the Bharatiya Janata Party.
So now the Kerala government and the education minister has forced the Christian school, in order to break its own rules, go against what is there in the constitution, in the rules and laws, and to allow vote bank to prevail, to allow hijab to prevail above kitab. SDPI came and threatened the nuns, they threatened the educational institution and its teachers, but vote bank matters. And therefore, these people are now bullying the school in a way. Anyway, this is the true face of the left. Soft corner for radicals, soft corner for terrorists.
Is this intervention? Is this politics? Who's politicizing the issue? Let's take those questions across to our guests. We're joined by Colonel Dinny, spokesperson of Kerala BJP unit. We're joined by S. Balan, left supporter. And we are expecting that Dr. Nishan Nujubuddin, an educationist, will also be joining us on the panel. Let me first go across to S. Balan. S. Balan, I'm sure you heard the reactions coming in from the school representatives, the authority. They're saying that the parents have agreed to follow the rules of the school. Then why is the minister intervening?
See, Kerala government is a secular government, democratic government, constitutional government. It is the duty of the government to uphold the constitutional provisions. I think school authority mind is brainwashed by the communal elements of Kerala. The communal elements wanted to disturb. See, particularly the BJP and RSS has no other business to do except lighting fire in a peaceful place. See, it's a right of any person just wearing a cloth over the head. What is the problem of BJP or anybody else? The school authority is mingling with the communal elements to disturb peace in the state of Kerala, though the institution is a...
Mr. Balan, my very simple, humble question to you is, if you're saying that the left believes in democracy, then why are you not allowing the school to function as per its rules?
No, it has to function as per law. It has to function as per constitutional provisions. Freedom of faith is a fundamental right. And the parents wanted to have hijab. It is their right to do it. Just keeping a cloth over the head, what's the problem? With the school authorities or the BJP or anybody who wanted to lit communal fire and create ruckus in the state of Kerala.
Any institution that operates from India will have to follow the law of the land and abide by the constitution. That's common knowledge. But every institution also has a set of its own rules. Let me bring in Colonel Dinny. Colonel Dinny, according to the left, it violates the right of that student, the right to freedom for religion and expression.
Ma'am, see, the issue here is very clear, ma'am, that nobody is against wearing of hijab. Nobody is, against anybody's right to, follow their religion. The problem here is that there is a Christian missionary school being run in Ernakulam, and there is a set of rules in that school. One fine day, a girl who was still about 4 months back, she was okay with the uniform. She was told that this is the set of uniform. She was following it. There are 117 of students of the same faith. They have no problem. And suddenly, this girl comes and she says that she needs to wear this. And not only that, there is a group of people, the SDPI. Now, Mr. Balan had said that, it is the BJP RSS. The BJP RSS was not there. The SDPI barged into the school, threatened the principal, threatened the nuns that they will have to face dire consequences if they do not allow this thing to go through. And that is when the school went to the High Court. And ma'am, believe it or not, the High Court gave police protection and the school was closed for 2 days. Now that is point number one. Now second point is, ma'am, like what the minister has done now. No, when SDPI asked him to bend, he started crawling. Why is he started crawling? Against the orders of the High Court. The High Court, Kerala High Court in 2018, Honorable Justice A. Mohammad Mushtaq had given out a ruling in a similar case involving wearing of burqa, this hijab, that the collective rights of the school will take precedence of the individual rights of the student. That was a ruling which is there. Now, if you talk of constitution...
Absolutely. That's what I was highlighting to Mr. Balan. Every institute also have a set of their own rules. But Colonel Dinny, the allegation is that while you are saying appeasement politics by left, the left says that, this is how the Bharatiya Janata Party responds, that only people of a particular community and their rights are denied. Would you have done this if the student, would have been following some other religion? Would the student have been asked to remove a pug, let's say a pagdi, or anything else that symbolizes his or her religion? Why is it that people only of a particular community come under the radar? That's the allegation. Can you hear me, Colonel Dinny? The allegation is that only people people of a particular community come under the radar?
Ma'am, that is not true, ma'am. See, that's not true. So the problem is that, and this particular incident also, it is nobody is against anybody, wearing their particular faith or whatever. That happens. That can be, there is a set of places where you can do that. Nobody is against that. But when you are in a school, there is a uniform. The purpose of uniform is that there should be uniformity among the students. When we studied, we never knew whose religion, what religion, nothing. That should be the way it is. What is the economic status? What is the caste? What is this? Nothing should come in front of those students. Now, unfortunately, because of the systematic radicalization...
Okay, allow me to also introduce Dr. Nisha Najumuddin, an educationist on the panel, sir. Dr. Najumuddin, what's happening according to you? Is this about, politics which is happening, about what BJP is saying, what the left is doing, or is this just an issue that has been blown out of proportion? What is happening as per your views?
See, this particular debate, what I personally feel is that it's not just about the hijab alone. People talk about hijab. See, it is about whether uniformity and equality in institutions can coexist with all the diverse beliefs that we have. See, my previous speakers was talking, some of them were talking about Article 25, which talks about the right to religious, expression. Of course, I do agree to that. But you should not forget that we also do have Article 30, where the minority institutions do have every single right to have their own protocols as long as they are not discriminatory. Now, with regard to this particular issue, the student has been admitted to Catholic school. The parents knew all the rules and regulations, right? And having said that, see, my question is, it is always very, very important that schools or let's say learning platforms, they are not placed such kind of political protest, I would say, right? Because schools are temples of learning, they are not platforms of protest.
But
and
Dr. Like you said, that the parents were well aware of the set of rules that the school follows. And the parents clearly admitted to that, agreed to that. That's the reason why they got their child admitted to that particular school. So how is it that all of a sudden, this issue comes to fore and then you have a full-blown war?
See, you need to also understand that sometimes this whole issue, the whole setting, where the school never said they're banning a religion, rather they were trying to enforce uniformity rules to create equality and cohesion. And the issue, this situation very well states that suddenly from nowhere came like that. See, I being a Muslim, again, as from the yesterday's show in Times Now also, I said the same thing, where I got my education in a Catholic setup. But doesn't mean that, I will go and do whatever I want there. See, today such kind of things are allowed. One day, if every let's say for example, every student is coming up and dressing in the way they want, automatically when you do that, the other student will start demanding such kind of religious attires. This will break the idea of equality and sameness in the school life. If every child dresses differently for belief, when do they have time or when do they dress equally for learning? Right. So this is again very important. So these kind of things are
that's an important point. You have made two points. On the issue of uniformity, I'll take a response from S. Balan, but as far as equality is concerned, you said that the set of rules should not be discriminatory. I would want Colonel Dini to respond. Let me first go across to S. Balan. There should be uniformity. That's what the schools are trying to do.
No. See, they are trying to blow the small issue out of proportion. I think there is a tacit understanding between RSS and Catholic institution and SDPI. All the three gang up against a government which is more secular, which protects the right of every individual. Please don't use the word hijab or burqa. The colonel should know what is the difference between hijab or burqa. See, putting a small cloth on the head is not a ununiformity. It is within the uniformity. Suppose tilak or tirunoir or something religious identity, what you call, it's a culture. Respect for the culture.
But is that being allowed? Is that being allowed as well? Is that being allowed as well, along with the hijab? Are those things being allowed as well?
Should be allowed.
It is not being allowed. That's the whole point. It should be allowed is something that will happen in the future perhaps. But at the moment it's not happening. And that's why the entire debate. That's why the entire debate has Balan. Colonel Dini, quick last word to you before I move on.
Ma'am, Mr. Balan has his own figment of imagination that there is a tacit understanding between RSS, SCPI and I don't know what all. I don't want to get into that. The issue is here, ma'am. We fundamentally believe in equality of all religions. There should, especially women, they should be allowed to wear what they want, especially hijab. There is no problem. But when it comes to educational institutions, there is, as ma'am was mentioning, that there should be a set of rules which everybody should follow, because that is where, you know, everybody is treated equally. And so that kind of thing. And finally, ma'am, it all, like you asked whether the law, the High Court has mentioned that this in its law. Of course, there is a Supreme Court split verdict which is there, which is there. But my question is, in this issue, when the parents are ready now that they have no issues and they are ready to, you know, go with the school management, why on earth would Mr. Shivaguti, the education minister, now come and say that please allow, pass an order against the Article 13, as ma'am mentioned, which is a fundamental.
All right. You're saying the government, the education minister is intervening. That's what the school authority also said, that if the parents agree, what is the education minister's problem? Whereas left says that this is nothing but discrimination. There's a tacit understanding, according to him, between the Catholic schools and RSS. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and Dr. Nujumuddin for joining us on the broadcast. Moving on now and shifting our focus to our next segment, which is Deep Dive, where we look closely at the situation in Bengaluru, the IT city where there are potholes on the roads everywhere, broken roads.